Hey everyone, it's Char from Char's Fascination, and it's been a while since I've done a full-on cooking video for you. Now, my friend Rob, feeling a bit under the weather, not really himself, not a lot of energy, and that's usually when he asks me to make healing broth or healing soup. So he only really wants the broth. I want the nutrients of everything. I am just a nutrients of everything person. So, now I might use the balsamic glaze later, but I will be using this balsamic vinegar. If you're wondering why, balsamic vinegar actually acts as something that kills the microbial bacteria that's airborne when it hits your system. Now, that's also why I cook with that. I'm not going to sit here and chug it down, because no. But also, in order to make a good broth or soup, get yourself some vegetable stock. They only had a few of these left at the Aldi, because, Now, I asked Rob, I'm like, do you want, for a grain, do you want rice, noodles, or do you want potato? And he said rice. So I'm like, you know what, let's add some yellow rice in there. I'm not going to use the seasoning packet from this because I do not need that. And then we have some, now you use whatever meat you want. This is an apple sausage that we get from the Acme. I like this, and I also like this brand of the breakfast sausage. It's really good. It's tasty. It's hard to find these. Oh, trust and believe. I searched everywhere and found this at the Aldi. Aldi has some good stuff. Prices, though. Some of their prices are their standard prices. Some of their prices are like everybody else. If you get where I'm going. So, if you saw in the thumbnail that I have this out. Now, Rob, he just basically wants some broth. I will make him some broth stock in this. That's going to be a lot of broth for him. And I will add in some of the other stuff into his, because his is just going to be smaller, and I might not put all of the meat into this, and this might just be enough for just two of us, you know what I mean? So I told him that I would make more broth than anything, so this is going to come in handy, plus this gives a chance to test that out. So now I went ahead and unplugged my kettle, which I do use, and I got that from Amazon. I got this from Amazon, and it vents at the bottom. Like I said, just haven't used it yet, so there is this video. And when it came, it was already up on the highest setting, so had to turn that off. Then I love the little lid. It has a little crown. This reminds me of my friend Rich Lux. He is so cool. Anyway, I still say, Rich, you need one of these. So, plus you can sit it upside down and not stay steady, because it's not one of those rounded bits. So let's get into cooking this. The meat I will actually cook in the air fryer. So for that, I have to get a pan over here. Now I keep my pans over here in the counter piece from the kitchen. So I'm going to go ahead and move the little hot pot out of the way in order to do this. And I will also pause this and turn it around because you're on the gimbal. Something I will show you real quick is I got this fresh cayenne pepper. Look at the difference between the new one and one that's just been sitting for a while. That is like seriously dull compared to that. So this one got to go and this one stays. So what I like to do is put a little bit of this in there. Now, the other reason that I'm doing this is because these are things that are actually good for your digestive. If you have arthritis, also use some turmeric. Don't know why the lid just tried to come off of that. Like, that should not have tried to come off like that. I know, maybe Rob struggled and took it off like that. I don't know. Sometimes he makes himself a turmeric and cayenne hot water. It's almost like a tea. And that's supposed to help with a lot of health issues. Open up the garlic at the wrong end. I couldn't find good, not, you know, already rotten garlic. So I did get the garlic powder. The other thing that I do, which I will show you over here in a minute, is first I put some gloves on. Put your gloves on. Well, you're going to be handling meat. So I got these gloves from Amazon. They are food grade. So get your good food grade gloves. You know what though? That also helps from having cross-contamination. Also, you don't have to wash your hands as much because, yeah. Anyway, let me get this package open and we'll be right back. Okay, so what I do basically is I take this and just pinch it off and make like little pinched off meatball-like things until all of these are in there. That's what I do. You don't have to, but that's what I do. Do this however you feel comfortable doing. And then I will air fry these. Now, I thawed this out in the refrigerator. I took it out of the freezer and put it in the fridge last evening so that when I got to it today, it would already be thawed and still, you know, cold. So when I take it out of the fridge, it's cold. By the way, did you know, and this is true because I do this a lot, you can take mostly thawed chicken breast and put that in the in the oven or the air fryer, and just like it'll naturally thaw. Now here's the thing, a lot of people are confused about bacteria in their food. Hot and cold kills bacteria, even airborne. That. So I'm going to get all this done like this video is only that long. Anyway, so I'm going to get all this done and we'll be back when I pull this from the air fryer. Oh, and I have a little trick for you. If you can't get the lid off, and I just did this, take your basic old-fashioned can opener, go like this, and wait for that to pop up. That's what I just did. That's the secret. So I just asked Rob which would he prefer, the regular balsamic or the balsamic glaze. This stuff is potent. Be careful with it. I've used a lot of it over about a week and a half. It got down to that point. So now at this point with doing this, because yeah, this isn't on yet, want to turn it on to its first stage. Little light is on right here. Now I'm honestly not worried about this because shake your broth before you put it in there. Now I'm going to do this two different ways. I'm going to make Rob's just in here. That's enough broth. I have a whole other thing of broth, as you can see. I do love using this stuff because then you don't have to actually add a whole bunch of extra nonsense. Nobody needs nonsense in their life. You know what I mean? Anyway, and add, I'm gonna say about a tablespoon of that. I'm going to take a little bit of this onion water. We need that in there. Now, I can say he does actually want onion in it. You guys might think this is a little weird, but I do put a little butter in there because of the balsamic. Use whatever you've got to cook with. Honestly, these days, we all know, that's all that needs for just that. My countertop is clean. I had to wipe off the butter because it fell into it. That's funny. So now you do obviously want to stir this. Now I got these spoons off of where? Amazon. I'll use the Amazon if I want something to get here fast. Instead of having to wait forever. So there's that. Now, with this, do add your spices. So we need a dash and a half of the cayenne. We need, as soon as I can get it open, of the turmeric. Just put a little bit in there, a little dab will do ya. And I will put some rice in this for him. Ooh, that was the wrong side. You ever have that lid that wants to just open it the wrong side? We put that much garlic in there for a reason. Now, garlic, a lot of things that I just put in here are also considered to be anti-inflammatory. As you can see, this little hot pot has that name for a reason. It's already getting hot. So what I'm going to do at this point, also add a little water in there. Now remember, I am going to be putting some rice in here. For him, I'm doing his different. I'm making his more broth than it is anything else. So, and yes, I do wash my hands. I still have those people that think I don't wash. My skin is brown because I'm brown. Light brown, but I'm brown. I'm telling you, I've seen some people in Philly and the mostly black neighborhoods that they're as pale, and they're just naturally pale because I honestly don't think they go outside that much. If you don't go outside that much, how are you going to get those vitamins from the sun, right? Gotta get those vitamins. Now I'm going to take the California Medley. This cooking video is going to be a little longer than, you know, my normal videos. Let's hope I don't run out of storage. So just like put a little handful in there, because then the rice is also going to go in. Don't forget your rice, and rice is always nice. That's one of my sayings. Rice is always nice. Rice is also something that if it's labeled organic, you know, the stuff that doesn't say enriched, or, because you really want to be careful with that stuff. It's been sprayed. That's a whole other video of food, you know, talking about food and stuff. You really have to be careful. We don't really have too many options out there in the world anymore. So we're going to add some rice to this. Not that much though. Right about there. That's about half the box. So now we're just going to let this cook. Oh, that broth smells amazing. And at this point, I will add a little more balsamic glaze in there. And now there's a reason that I'm actually using this one. It's because I remember I don't have my horseradish or the other stuff I generally use. Now remember, this also has a little vent hole right here. When you do that, make sure you put the vent hole towards the back so that you don't have that steam hitting your face. Now the meat's almost done cooking, so I'll be back with that part. Okay, well the meat is now done cooking, so what I can do, remember I just put this over here. Can you see the steam off of that? I'm not sure if you can. Let me know kindly in the comments below if that lid is hot. I am not going to drain this because I want those meat proteins off of the broth that's in there. We're only going to put a little bit of this in here. He doesn't want too much meat today, but I got to keep him in protein. So he gets a couple of little scoops of that. So kind of in a way you get to see me making healing soup 2 different ways today, which is kind of cool. I'm not too sure how quick his will cook. I can tell you one thing. So far, I'm liking that. So now over here for this part, we will... Oh, that sounded weird outside. Life is freaking weird lately. So now for this part, because I'm just opening a fresh broth, we put some broth stock. Now I'm not going to put the whole thing in there. I'm only going to put half because I will be adding the other stuff in here. More than what I did for Rob, but about the same, except for the onions. The onions have to go in there because yum. Now when I'm making my healing soup, what I like to do sometimes is save the onion jar, and you can store some broth in there. Oh my god, y'all, look, that's already bubbling really good. Oh, and I have that on the medium setting. Isn't that wonderful? I like that so far. Now remember, I will let you know how that comes out. So now we need to get the butter and hope we don't get it on our fingers. Because this is a bigger one, we just put a little like that in there. Like maybe, I'm going to say maybe like a couple of teaspoons. Then we'll get that in there. Now remember, this stuff is basically about the same, so I'm honestly not worried about it. We'll take our spices, because spices is nicest. Now, in order to keep yourself healthy from getting sick every year, this is what I like to do, is make soup. Because it's a basic, you know. I'm going to turn this down just a smidgel. Ooh, that turned off instead. I think you only have a couple of settings on here, and off is one of them. Now we're going to pour in our rice. I'm not worried about how much there is. I have another thing of that in the kitchen, which I might go get in a minute. And the rest of those vegetables, not worried about that because I have another bag I can grab. And let's put some balsamic in there because we need that. And I'll be right back. Look, y'all, I shut it off, right? It's still boiling. I didn't want it to overboil. Now I'm going to cover this with foil and put it back in the air fryer. I'm not going to put it on the air fry setting. I'm going to put it on bake. Now, cooking videos are generally longer than your average one, your average video. I want to make sure I have that on that medium because Look at that. I just put that back on there and that's already a rolling boil coming up. I also want to check that rice, which still has a lot of cook time left to it. Remember to put your lid back on. You don't need this splattering all over the place. So when that's completely done, we'll be back with that. Just so my screen don't phase out. I'm telling y'all, when you put this back on that setting, there's the little dot on there to show you what setting it's on. Now I tried to put this on a medium low. It stayed there for a moment, but then it had taken itself to shut off. I mean, technically it's on, but if the little light ain't on, it's off. So keep that in mind. It's still boiling. It is still boiling. I'm just afraid. The pros and cons of this. The pros is it's cute, but if you see where, you know, love the lid. I really do. I love that lid. Oh, the rice is almost cooked. That's good. Now this is Rob's pot of food. Even though I'm going to take a little sip of that. I probably just shouldn't. So we'll just go ahead and put it back up on that low. That says low. Does that honestly look like low? When it does that rumbling boil? Maybe in other countries, you know, they're just used to that. I'm not one of these cook fast people. I'm just not. That's just not my way. Something like this is, to me, this should always be a low and slow cook. And that way you get more enjoyment out of the flavor. I'll be right back. Okay, so I will let you know this is already, the rice is done. The rice is done. Quite frankly, and I put some cayenne seasonings in here because I took a separate spoon and tasted the rice and stuff. Y'all, this is done. And that honestly, that took under 30 minutes. That broth, I already know that broth is good. To me, I felt like it was missing something, so that's why I added something in. It is done. I can unplug it and we'll wait for the other one to finish cooking. Alright, real quick. The lid's also good for balancing a spoon. By the way, this container will be the only dishes that I have to wash other than bowls. Unless Rob just wants to eat out of that, which is fine. For him. I just pulled it and it is not done yet. That cooked quicker than this does. So still, like, this is still hot. This is still not cooked. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let this continue to cook. I'll let you know. The broth is amazing. The meat is amazing. We're just going to eat from this pot tonight. And I can take some of the meat out of this one if I want. So anyway, hold on. We'll be right back with taste testing and see how Rob likes it. Okay, now Rob is back out here. He just got home a moment ago. He brought me in some packages because, you know, I have stuff for this week. Look how hearty that is. Like, seriously. He wants a lot of the broth, but I put very little rice in this, remember? I put very little rice in this. And look at all that rice. Look at all that rice. That is so good. So, I'm going to pause this again and hand Rob his soup. Oh, this smells so amazing. How's it smell to you, Rob? Anyway, Rob will also let you know how this tastes in a minute. I gotta get him some more carrot in this. If you have anyone that has cancer, a tumor, just an ailment that you just wish your friend or family didn't have, try making this for them. I've made this for cancer patients before and they felt better. Okay, so here's my bowl. My gimbal is acting a little funny. So, how was it, Rob? Oh, I've already had my little taste test, but like I said, the cayenne pepper. The I will one day teach you guys how to make another healing soup, and that will be a lemon sage chicken and potato healing soup with turmeric. Yes, because that's good for you. And some ginger without Marianne. But anyway, until then, enjoy life. Enjoy your food. Make it healthy. And taste flavorful. Meanwhile, stay happy, stay healthy, stay positive, and as always, stay blessed. I'm gonna go eat this. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.